Hey guys, welcome back. So the US thought this summer would save their tourist industry, but here we are, deep into the season, and the recovery they promised isn't showing up. Meanwhile, what's happening north of the border in Canada? There's actually a lot to update on you today, including WestJet's new routes. Stick around to the end for that. Before we jump in, just a quick update on the channel. We now officially have moderators. Last week alone, we had about 14,000 comments from Canadians, international allies, and even US citizens who were fed up with what's going on. This community is growing so fast that I obviously can't read every single comment anymore. And while that means more supportive comments, it also means more haters. I know the moderators will help to keep the conversations respectful here for everyone. All right, let's get into the update.
From campers to swimmers to mini golfers, Fredericton's Heart Island RV Resort is busy and will be for the next couple of months, according to its manager.
Because we're kind of in the middle of everything, we're kind of like the gateway to the Maritimes. So people are stopping here, having a little rest, using the water park.
She estimates it's 20% busier than last year, and they're nearly booked up until mid-September.
I don't know about you guys, but that's music to my ears. Being booked solid all the way up until mid-September means that this Canadian business owner has locked in a strong summer season. But it's about more than just one business doing well. It shows that interest in Canada is growing, whether it's Canadians choosing to spend their money at home or even US citizens crossing the border to visit. When you compare that to what's happening in the US right now, it's like night and day. South of the border, tourism officials are still pleading for Canadians to come back. Kind of like this Florida tourism official and this San Francisco business owner.
But when you are ready to come back, and we hope that you will be ready to come back, we will be here with open arms and open hearts, and ready to embrace you, because you're going to find us the same people that were here before you decided not to travel.
Today, we've seen a total of 7 foreign tourists. Can you believe that? Just 7 people.
Sam Sohal, CEO of City Sightseeing, says most riders these days are domestic visitors, but even that number is down compared to last year.
This year so far, it's about 35% down. What was really shocking was June and this few days of July, the bottom has fallen, basically. We're 50% down. We're a little bit worried. We can probably weather the summer, but in the wintertime, if this is the summer, what's going to happen in the winter, that's what scares us more.
In this case, the Florida tourism official says we're the same people you knew before. Might not be the best sales pitch to win us back. Because here's the reality. Canadians and international tourists are starting to see exactly who those 77 million Americans are. And a lot of those 77 million, they're the same business owners who are now asking us to come back and support. And then the bus company? 7. Just 7 foreign tourists for the start of July. That's right when school lets out and families are usually heading south, but this year, it ain't happening. These 2 clips are reports I've covered before, but it really shows the sharp contrast between the tourism industries in our 2 countries right now.
I think it's because a lot of people in Canada now don't want to travel to the US.
And visitors are venturing there from outside the country too.
We have a lot of US people coming up here because of the exchange on the money is, of course, high.
She's not alone. Next door to Fundy National Park, the owner of Tipsy Tales Restaurant says he's noticed a number of American visitors this season who aren't hiding their support for Canada.
They're just pretty sure they let us know that they're from the US. They're here to support us, and we're happy to have them all here anyways.
And I'm happy to hear that the same Americans are choosing to come to Canada and spend their tourism dollars here to show support for our country. Think about that for a second. Being so embarrassed by your own country's actions that you choose to take a stand by supporting another. That's a powerful statement. We actually hear this a lot from our US viewers. Many of them reach out to apologize for what their country is doing to Canada and the rest of the world. It's a good reminder that not all Americans agree with what's going on right now. And I truly appreciate the support from those Americans, both for Canada and for the channel.
He's also noticing a rise in Canadian tourists traveling domestically.
They said we normally go down south to Old Orchard Beach or somewhere like that. They chose to stay here and stay in Canada and come back to the Maritimes.
Meanwhile, in Lunenburg, Nova Scotia, the operating manager of the famous Blue Nose 2 says they're also seeing a boom this year compared to last year.
We are hearing from a lot of Canadians who have chosen to travel within our own country this year. and particularly where Bluenose 2 is such a Canadian icon.
And like in New Brunswick, it's not just Canadians, but travelers from the US and Europe, while she's expecting more to come.
As far as we can tell, it's going to be a really busy summer for visiting Nova Scotia.
Anna Mandan, Global News.
I'm really glad to hear this update, and I'm really happy for Nova Scotia. Back in March and April, I'll be completely honest, I was a bit worried about how Canada's tourist industry would hold up. Our boycott of US products and tourism pretty much started overnight, and no one knew what the ripple effect would be. But here's what we need to remember. Canada didn't start any of this. And now, we're showing up for our own country and our allies. My gut says Canada's tourist industry is going to be fine. And I'm really proud of how Canadians have stepped up to show support for our home. Now let's move on to the next report. It's a few weeks old, but it really shows the change in the flight industry and what our Canadian airlines are doing to readjust.
Calgary-based WestJet Airlines rolled out its winter schedule this morning, adding 5 new destinations for Sunseekers, none of them in the United States. The new schedule adds Panama City, Panama, Guadalajara and Tepic in Mexico, Havana, Cuba, and Managua, Nicaragua to the company's list of destinations. The airline has also bumped up its Mexico City service to a year-round schedule. It is also adding 7 new routes, including direct flights from Calgary to both Cozumel, Mexico, and Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic.
So we now have 7 new route to sun destinations that have just been announced. I wish I could pull up the old clip of a US tourism official saying, "Where else are Canadians going to go? They're bound to come back to Florida." Because this proves how wrong he was. Florida isn't the only place with sun and beaches. Now we got 7 more options, and that's a big win for Canadians. I'm all for supporting Canada, but also for supporting countries that value our business. And this is great news for everyone. One quick caution though, even if WestJet is adding these new routes, double check your flight details before booking. Some of these routes are direct, but others might have a stopover in the US. I'd strongly advise booking against anything that has a US stopover. But I'm sure most of you knew that already, right?
The new Latin American and Caribbean offerings come at the same time travel to the United States has fallen sharply this year.
We have seen some decline in demand to the U.S., and as a result, we've redeployed some of our capacity into domestic markets across the Atlantic and into Latin Caribbean destinations. We've seen that demand situation stabilize, but it's hard to say how it's going to develop going forward. But we have a lot of confidence in the destinations that we're offering today.
Statistics Canada reports air travel to the States has declined steadily through 2025, falling by almost 25% in May.
I can't wait to see the July and August numbers for the US tourism industry. We probably won't get those until September or October, somewhere around there. But I think we already know how they're going to show. After watching hundreds of US media reports, I'll admit it, it's rubbed me the wrong way how confident they were about the summer. They kept saying that the summer would turn things around and that the Canadian boycott was just a phase. Well, we're definitely proving them wrong. We're now into August, and many tourism officials are still scratching their heads, wondering what went wrong. Just like this guy, still can't figure out why his business is down in 2025.
This year specifically, things seem to be a little bit slower than normal. Not sure exactly what to attribute to that to.
Are you serious? Not even the slightest idea why your business is down? Not even the tiniest clue that it might have to do something with the fact that you're a border town business and the fact that a lot of your customers were Canadian. Anyways, whatever. You do you, Mr. Bakery Guy. Though later in that report, it was mentioned that his business did end up closing down. Anyways, meanwhile, I couldn't be happier with how this summer is shaping up. The US tourism industry is collapsing while Canada is thriving, and it's only going to get harder for the US from here. Because when the summer is over and the financial hit really sinks in, just wait until the expected snowbirds don't show up to Florida, Palm Springs, or Arizona, and instead fly farther south to Mexico or other sun destinations. Canadians are standing stronger, and it's definitely working. If you found this video helpful, hit the like and subscribe button so we can get this message out to even more people. And if you're still here and want to hear more of me venting about US tourism officials and businesses, check out these other videos showing up on your screen now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.